everyone. I'm Kaitlin.
And I am Jillian.
Jillian, that's her name. And we are the hosts of the OK Drama podcast,
where two friends recap and break down K-dramas one episode at a time.
Yay! Okay, I know our intro seemed a little lazy, but I am very excited to talk about these episodes.
I would say it was also a purposeful lazy.
Yes.
It wasn't like...
It was done with intention.
Yes, it was intentionally lazy.
Uh-huh. We're just trying to mix it up.
You gotta.
Yes. So before we jump into Coffee Prince episodes 11 and 12, let's do some quote housekeeping.
All right.
Yeah, so we would love it if you guys left us a rating and a review on iTunes and wherever else you can rate and review things. 5 stars, please.
Please. Preferably.
Yeah. And you can follow us on Twitter at OKDramaPod, and that is where we have fun polls and just
giveaways.
Giveaways, general shenanigans, Twitter. Twitter stuff. There's also an Instagram, OK Drama Podcast. Jill has really fun stories and cute little GIFs and things.
I try.
Yeah. And we have a website, okdrama.com. You can...
It's pretty cute.
It is cute. I worked pretty hard on it, guys. So just go check it out. That's where you can find a catalog of all of our episodes and ways you can support the show and get in contact with us. Speaking of...
I have to say, I like, in. I like all of the little images you use on the website for each episode.
Thank you.
Like your little image pools from that episode. They're always cute.
Thanks. Well, I use Google, and 80% of the times they come from Drama Beans. But
Nice.
I try to give credit, so I'll say... I'm not trying to plagiarize.
Yes.
So. But can you plagiarize a screenshot?
I don't know.
That's a question for
I guess
probably...
you could tag it. You know how underneath photos, it's photographed by, blah, blah, blah. It could be screenshot by.
Yeah, well, I usually say...
from Drama Beans.
I usually say photo courtesy of Drama Beans. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take credit for those glorious screenshots they take. But some of them are my own, yes.
Cool.
What else? Oh, supporting the show. You can make purchases from Daebak Box or Fashion Chingu. We get a small little commission, which allows us to buy merch. Speaking of merch, you can also become one of our patrons. Yay! And that gives you exclusive first access to our merch. If you don't want to become a patron because you have a fear of commitment or a tight budget.
Get that.
Yeah, we also have our online store, so you can find our merch there as well. I think we did it all.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yay!
Good job.
Thank you. It's becoming more natural. Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm very excited. My mom sent me her thoughts, so we have more OK Mama.
Cool.
And
you want to do that at the end?
I don't know. She did it in more let's just do it at the end.
Okay.
Did you have any feelings you want to talk about before we jump in?
Well, I have to say I'm enjoying the show a lot. I think it's a lot of fun and very silly. And there's so many why though moments with Bong Soon where it's just oh my god. But I also have to say I'm really missing a spook from Stranger Smell. And I'm I don't care about kissing. I want good Korean spooks. That's all I want right now.
Oh my gosh.
Strangers from Hell just, like, did it for me. It was so good.
I'm so glad. I felt like you would like it, so that makes me so happy.
I very much enjoyed it. Yeah. It was really good.
Yeah, I am getting ready. Well, I'm mentally preparing myself to start a couple of, like, crime dramas.
Cool.
Like, with serial killers and stuff.
Cool. Yeah, if you or anyone from the pod, any listeners, have any spooky dramas to suggest, I'm down. And we'll do this for the Patreon. Or movie spooks. I like a good movie.
Yeah. I don't like being spooked.
I know you don't. Did you already edit the last episode of Strangers? Like halfway through, I think I got through the second to last episode, and I was into 10. And then I looked at Andrew and I was like, oh shit, I told Kaitlin I was going to read this one extra spooky. I don't know if I've been doing that. Have I been reading it spooky? And he was just like, I don't know.
That's so funny. Yeah.
It's a dumb episode. It was funny.
I get
Hogarth joined us.
Aw, sweet baby Hoagie. Oh yeah, so if you guys really want to hear Jill and Andrew's Strangers from Hell commentary, you can become one of our patrons, and that's like available to entry-level patrons, our okay listeners.
Yeah, just $3, yo. That's nothing. That's like a snack at the store.
It's a snack a month. Yeah, well, I am loving Coffee Prince. I think I said it's definitely like in my top 10, maybe my top 5. I don't know. We'll see how it ends. You know, I love a rom-com. I'm feeling it is a little dated, maybe just because how, like, rough they are with Unchan. I don't like the kind of violent activity. Yeah. But, you know, I don't know what to say about that, but other than I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I really love all the princes. I love, you know, Unchan. She's so sweet. And Hangul is, you know, he's cool and he's handsome, but he has some issues. So
just some, yeah. A few.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very excited to keep watching. So anyway, should we get into it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you want to start or should I?
You can start it.
Okay. So episode 11 starts with Hangul and Unchan being all cute, talking on the phone. Very much just started dating, nervous but cute energy. Because again, like, episode 10, I think it was where he was like, I don't care if you're a boy, I just want to be with you, which was very sweet. So, after they hang up, Unchan talks to her little Lego guy that Hangul made her, and comes to the conclusion that she has to tell Hangul the truth now. Unchan goes to sleep with her mom because she's so nervous, and I said it's a nice mother-daughter cuddle moment. Mother-daughter cuddle moment. That's hard to say. Yeah, I was like, did you ever, like, have cuddles with your mom? Are you and your mom cuddlers?
Nah, not really.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't, I guess it's not surprising that me and my mom are both super sensitive, so sometimes I'm like, you just need a mom hug to make you feel better, and, you know, give you some strength, I guess. But yeah, that was nice. My mom also has a comment on that in Okay Mom. Hangul is in a super good mood the next day, but then he has brunch with Lee Myung-jae, which I thought was really weird.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't know this person and you're just gonna go have brunch with them? Yeah,
your dad's friend. Your dad's old weird friend.
I'd be like, oh, hi, nice to talk to you. I have to go to work. I can't meet you, sorry.
Yep. And I'd be like, Dad, what's happening?
I guess it would be weirder for us as girls, but still, like, he doesn't know this guy either.
Yeah, but I guess it'd just be like meeting one of your mom's friends, and I still would be like,
yeah,
I don't want to meet your friend without you. Like, it would be one thing if it was like, you know, you grew up with this person, so they're almost like a family member.
Yeah.
But it's some rando that you've never really met before.
Yeah.
Very weird.
I wouldn't even know what to talk about.
No. I wouldn't either. I guess, well, you know, they talk about his birth mom.
Yeah, that's true.
So, meanwhile, Unchan is, like, super fucking nervous now that she's decided to tell Hangul. She wears, quote, girl clothes to work and has to pump herself up. And I said, side note, this actress makes really good nervous faces. And I felt very nervous for her. Like, just watching her ride her scooter to work, like, being nervous. I was like...
Yelling at herself.
I feel that.
You feel that nervous energy.
Uh-huh.
Unchan arrives at work ready to tell Hangul everything, but he's not there yet. Harim is super pissed at her for all the lying and stuff. And he's being a little bit of an asshole. He accuses her of being very cunning and manipulative and asks if she ever considered Hangul's feelings while she was deceiving everyone. Unchan starts to tear up because Unchan's a crier, and Harim uses that against her too. And he's just being like... He's being like that friend who cares a lot about you, but they just go, like, way overboard.
Yes.
When they don't really have the authority to. Because they don't even know, like, the whole situation, you know? They're just, like, blowing things even more out of proportion.
Yeah.
And just, in the end, causing more problems than solving.
Exactly. Like, if the person they were talking about is there, they would probably be like, you need to chill. But yeah, he's just, like, stirring the pot.
Yeah, and, like, he sees her in her quote-unquote girl clothes. Like, it's obvious she's about to tell him. So just, like, drop it, because it's really none of your business.
Yeah.
Even if you're his friend.
Well, I guess the only thing I can say to defend him is that I think he already thought Hangul knew, because he thought Hangul was late to work.
Brings it up. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I just mean, like, him yelling at her right now.
Oh, right.
And, like, being an asshole. Like, she's obviously about to tell him, you know, and he's making it seem like, oh, just because I know you're going to tell him, even though she didn't even know he knew.
Exactly, yeah, like, how did...
He didn't give her any chance to, like, actually talk.
Yeah. He's a blabbermouth. I think Sun even says something like that, like, you talk too much. So... I
love how quiet Sun-ki is.
Yeah, he is.
He's very, very quiet and mysterious and always thinking and judging.
Yeah, he's one of my faves, except for when he, like, weasels his way into a preschool.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, not great, but...
No. Alright, so we then cut to Yuju, who goes to Hansung's place to pack up her things. And she grabs her toothbrush, and this is when I texted you. She grabs her toothbrush and, like, makes it kiss his toothbrush.
So
and
weird.
I texted you, and I was like, why this toothbrush scene, though? Like, what? What is the point of that? Very fucking weird.
Yeah, she's a weirdo.
I know. Hansung then gets home, and he begs her to not go because he will eventually get over his feelings for Unchan. He just needs time. And she tells him that she can't sit around and wait for him and is basically afraid of always being second best. She does acknowledge that she's being hypocritical since she treated Hansung worse and he took her back. But in the end, she tells him that he should just follow his heart and not feel burdened by their relationship.
What?
Their whole thing makes no sense to me, if I'm being honest here.
Yeah. That's dumb.
Very dumb. And her whole, like, argument, even though she admits she's being hypocritical, like, her whole argument makes zero sense. Because he's literally telling her, like, no, like, I don't want you to go. I want to be with you.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think it's really unfair for her to be like that because realistically, like, in your whole life, if you are going to dedicate, like, 80 years to some person, right? Like, okay, I'm only going to be with this person for the rest of my life. Like, I think it's super unrealistic to think that your partner wouldn't have, like, special feelings for someone else. Not that they're going to act on it, but it's like, oh, you know, like, not that they're in love, but they like someone of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
And what matters is, like, what they do or don't do about it.
Exactly. Totally. And I honestly feel like the biggest issue she has is the fact that all this time she saw Hansung as someone that would just wait on her.
Yeah.
And would do anything for her. And suddenly, like, she can't stand the thought of him thinking about someone else. Which I think is really, again, unrealistic, like you said. Mm-hmm. And just, like, selfish.
Yeah, 100%.
Because think of, like, everything you did to him. Mm-hmm. And cheated on him for apparently a year, I believe he says, while they were together.
Yeah, wow.
and then she left with this guy, and then suddenly decides to come back to him, and he took her back. Mm-hmm. Without almost any problem at all, like hesitation or anything. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, he just threw a can of coffee in the street. And that was it.
Then he was done being angry.
Yeah. Also, because she says, I don't want you to feel burdened by our relationship. Like, that's what a relationship is. Not a burden, but, like...
Yeah.
You are...
It's work.
You are, accepting, like, the limitations of what this relationship is, and you do that because you love someone. Mm-hmm. Like, she's so stupid. I don't know.
She's, I'm not a fan of her, I gotta say.
I'm definitely not a fan of her as someone's girlfriend. I think I would like her just fine if she was just a girl. Yeah. Or, you know, like a friend. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you're not a good girlfriend, Yuju.
No, not at all. So Hansung tries to convince her that it's not about Unchan, but she's being a coward and using it as an excuse so she can focus on work or go back to DK without feeling guilty. And Yuju doesn't respond. She just leaves in tears.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Hansung is kind of right. Mm-hmm. He's, like, half right, half wrong. Because I think he is, like, actually upset about Unchan. But I think also, like, she just is putting that on him because she's upset about the relationship and doesn't want to take, like, responsibility for her feelings.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Agreed.
So, back to Hangul. He shows up at work and he's kind of in a weird mood after meeting with Lee Myung-jae because he learns more about his birth mom, which I'm sure is kind of an awkward feeling. He asks Unchan to comfort him and even suggests they just run away with each other and move to America. And I'm like, he was gonna elope with his little boyfriend. Hangul wonders why they both have to be men, which gives Unchan an opening, but she can't really bring herself to tell him in that moment. Because, again, like, one, she's super nervous, but two, he kind of had, like, a rough morning. So it's, like... And also, I've been lying to you for 4 months. Mm-hmm. Not great.
I also feel like telling him at the coffee shop is not the best place to tell him.
Yeah, I think Mr. Hong says something to that effect later. He's like, this coffee shop is not your whatever, like, fighting ring. Yeah. Take it somewhere else.
I feel like she should have had brunch with him. She should have messaged him way before the friend did and asked to have breakfast or brunch or something, and then gone over and had the conversation privately. Yeah. Because I think also, as we get to it, spoiler, when he does find out, everyone is there. Yeah. And it has to be embarrassing for him. Yeah. Like, he's the only one that doesn't know, and he was in love with him / her. Yeah. Like, it's almost like he's a joke at that point, and everyone's been laughing at him behind his back.
Definitely. It's like salt in the wound.
Yeah.
So, we're getting to that. Harim walks upstairs and sees them, so Hangul gets up and walks away, because they're still not, like, public yet at this point. Harim follows Hangul and spills the beans since he thinks that Hangul already knows about Unchan. Hangil thinks he's joking at first and almost sticks up for Unchan being a boy, but Harim won't let it rest and insists that Unchan is a woman. And he's, like, going through all of the things that, like, pointed to Unchan being a woman. And I'm like, like...
Where have y'all been this whole time? Both of you.
Okay, and, like, the only evidence for her being a boy is you guys saw her, you thought peeing standing up. And she didn't deny that she didn't say she was a girl, basically.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all they've got.
Yeah, but, like, also, yeah, she can't grow a beard, and she wanted to, like, take a bath separately from you guys, and all this stuff. So.
Stuff we as viewers didn't even know.
Right. Unchan finally comes downstairs, and Hangil asks if she's a girl. He's almost calm at first, but Unchan can't answer, so he yells at her to say something. She starts to cry and finally nods yes, that she is in fact a girl, and he gets all upset. The most upset. And drives away. I was wondering, because he's like, are you a woman? If she had just said yes right away, like, if that would have changed the direction of the conversation. But her not saying anything just really let the moment, I guess... fester. Yes.
And then it, like, gave him a moment to freak out, and everyone's watching.
Yeah. Whereas if he just said, like, are you a woman? And she was just like, yes, let's go talk about it. Like... I don't know.
You knew. I thought you were just calling me a boy for fun.
Just, like, put it back on him.
Like everyone else does.
So, while Hangil is driving, he thinks back to all of the little moments that could have tipped him off. And it's actually a lot, like we were saying. Hangil's first impression of Unchan, which I totally forgot about, when he's like, you look like a girl. Or he says, are you a girl or a boy? Her ID number, why she doesn't grow a beard, how she asked what if she were a girl, like, multiple times. I mean...
She was hinting at you, she was trying to tell you.
And, like, I'm wondering, or it's just surprising to me, I mean, I know this is a TV show, but, like, if Hangil were afraid of being gay, like, wouldn't you think he would almost look for signs that, like, she's a woman or something? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if it were, or I don't know, my brain is just weird, but, like...
I also just feel like, since they've, like, goofed off and... like, they've held hands and they've, like, hugged and other things. Like, just how do you hug this girl and not know she's a girl? Or she has feminine parts.
Yeah, and the lack of male parts.
Yes.
I just feel like... I feel like he... I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but it's a TV show, so it doesn't really have to make sense.
I know. We're thinking too much into this. Alright, so Unchan calls Hangil to check in on him, but he asks who else knows, and he realizes that basically everyone knows. He already knew, like, everyone at the coffee shop knew. And he loses it when she confirms that Hansung also knows that she's a girl. And also Yuju as well. He shows up at Hansung's house and starts interrogating him about Unchan and everything that has happened between them. And Hansung is not really in the mood because he still likes Unchan. I forget what term they use on the show. What verbiage in the subtitles. There's a specific verbiage and, like, that's weird.
Like,
that's interesting.
Like wavering because of her or something like that? It's
not wavering, it's something else. But they always use that word.
To that effect, right?
Yeah. Something like that. But that's how he still feels about Unchan. He's still figuring it out. And Yuju has left him, or is going to leave him, and she's breaking his heart again. So he's all upset. So Hansung is short and not very sympathetic with his answers to Hangil's questions, and Hangil fucking punches him hard. And this guy, like, flips and falls to the ground. Like he, like, spins around and falls. And it's pretty fucking intense.
It was like that Itaewon class punch where...
Yes. He went up in the air. Hansen keeps insisting that he kept Unchan's secret because he didn't want to put her in a tight spot and he knew she needed money. Mm-hmm. And he also thought it didn't matter because he could tell that they liked each other. Hangyo keeps poking at Hansung and makes him admit that he also liked Unchan and, quote, cheated on Yuju with her. He goes so far as to call Yuju to say, like, is Unchan the girl that Hansung is dating? Mm-hmm. And she's on the phone, and then at that point, Hansung gets all pissed off, and she overhears them fighting, and he ends up saying that she's not interested in him because she's already in love with Hangul, and he wants Yuju, so it doesn't matter anyway. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, it's almost like a big misunderstanding at this point. Mm-hmm. And there's no reason to fight. Mm-hmm.
Just go on a double date.
Yeah, just everyone go get dinner together and talk it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let it be awkward for a bit.
Yes. Just let it breathe.
Mm-hmm.
So, Hangul arrives to see Unchan waiting for him by his front door, and he looks exhausted. I'm sure emotionally and because he, like, punched Hansung. He tries to ignore her, but she stands in front of his door and tries to apologize and explain herself. He gets even more upset and pushes her against the door and begs her to tell him it isn't true and that she didn't lie to him for so long. He says that couldn't have happened because people who love each other don't lie like that. Which I also thought was a weird move, but... Okay. Unchan just cries and keeps apologizing, and Hangul starts to accept that she actually lied to him. He's just like, you lied to me. You lied to me. And I'm like, You were mad about that earlier. But I guess it's just like, he's reached the acceptance phase, maybe? So Unchan is just like crying. He goes inside and pours cold drinking water on his head. And it's a mess. I don't know. I guess that was just done for dramatic effect. But I've never wanted to just pour water on my head when I'm upset.
No.
Like,
I'll just take a shower at that point.
Exactly. I'm like, maybe take a shower.
Just stand under the water forever.
But I am more of I want to just burrow under all of the blankets in my house. Mm-hmm. So.
I get that.
That's my move.
Unchan at that point stays outside of his house and she cries. Mm-hmm. Then she goes home and Unse tries to comfort her sister by bad-mouthing Hangul and telling her that she'll find another hot guy for Unchan. Unchan tells Unse that even if he doesn't want to see her anymore, she just wants to tell him that she really, really loves him. Unchan's mom tries to comfort her, but she just rolls over and cries.
Mm-hmm. Poor baby Unchan.
She's so sad. She's so heartbroken.
Yeah, this seems like her first love, too, so...
Yeah.
Real sad.
We then see Hangul's family, and they are talking about Lee Myung-jae, who we learn is actually Hangul's biological father. Mm-hmm. We guessed that one.
Yeah.
His family has kept it a secret all of his life, but now they feel conflicted as to whether or not they should let him be a part of Hangul's life. Hangul's, like, so much older already at this point. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's, like, almost 30.
Does he really need this added on top of everything else? I don't know.
Yeah.
Another dad?
Another dad for him to hate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like this is something you do when, like, that person's about to die or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I also feel like if I was in that situation again, like the lunch with him, like I wouldn't really have anything to talk about. Mm-hmm. It's like those relatives that you know are your relatives, but you can't find anything in common with them, or you don't really know how to bring up a conversation.
Yeah.
And so, like, the relationship doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm sure other people are different and, like, would find things to talk about. But for me personally, I'd be like, I guess you're my dad.
You had a part in making me.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Here I am.
I'm the same way. I kind of am like, I don't know. It's just weird because at that point, what is he going to... Not that, like, relationships have to be strictly transactional, but it's... I would question, like, what is you being a part of my life doing for me? Because you ignored me for, like, 30 fucking years.
Yeah.
So, what was that about?
Yeah, I didn't know you were my dad, and you didn't care to tell me you were my dad.
So, like... I got along just fine without you, and you seem to get along just fine without me, so, like, peace out. Let's just keep living our separate lives. Yeah.
Unless you have a lot of money, then, you know.
But Hangul already has a lot of money, so...
That's true. We don't, though.
No. If I had a rich biological father, and my actual father was my adopted father... Sure,
some
rich
crazy
dad.
K-drama storyline.
Yeah, I mean, crazy stuff. Anything is possible. But not that.
No, not really.
So, back at the cafe, Unchan keeps showing up to work despite Harim's mean comments. And I'm like, Harim, stop being such a fucking bully. Like, you're too old for this. She basically agrees to leave if Hangul tells her to. And she's only staying so she can tell him how she feels before she goes. And I think she also, like, feels a sense of loyalty to the cafe. And she actually likes her job, so...
Yeah.
Sunki tries to stand up for Unchan and tells Harim that it's not that big of a deal. And it gets to a point where Harim and Sunki almost fight because I guess it's just they have different opinions on relationships. Like, yeah. Sunki basically says that they want the same thing, so it's fine. Just get over it. And Harim is like, no, but she lied, so she broke the trust, and relationships are all about trust. And it's like, I kind of see both sides, but at the end of the day, like, do you want to be happy? Because it's right in front of you.
Doesn't Sunki also make a comment like, oh, is that why you have so many girlfriends?
Oh, yeah. That's so
it's
true.
All about keeping trust? Okay.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, so, like, the fists are drawn into the fight, but then Hangul shows up. Minyup, our sweet little goober, apologizes for deceiving Hangul, but Hangul calls him out for being selfish, because Minyup is like, I only kept her secret because of Unse, and yada yada yada. Mr. Hong kind of casually, but not really, brings up how hard Unchan has had to work since her father died when she was young. And he's like, you know, she didn't want to lie to you, she just needed money, and look how hard of a worker she is. Like, she didn't deceive you, whatever, for fun, or to make you look bad, or to trick you. Like, at the heart of it, she had a good reason. And
I'm sure she didn't think she was going to fall for this guy.
Exactly.
I'm sure in her eyes, it was just, I really need money. This guy is opening this coffee shop. I can get this job. This is my in.
Yeah.
No romantic feelings involved.
And I think she, like, later on, she'll say that to him. Like, because if you think about it from that angle, like, if you're just, you know, going to work at a cafe, you just have to be a coworker to someone.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
They don't need to know your personal life. So, yeah. But Hangul ends up ignoring all of Mr. Hong's, you know, words about Unchan, and he just tells Mr. Hong to fire her. But Mr. Hong tells Hangul that since he was the one who hired her, he should be the one to fire her. Because he's like, you're the one who was like, no, we're hiring this guy, even though I told you that we shouldn't hire her. So,
she's not a prince.
Yep.
Hansung then visits Yuju, but DK is at her place. DK, he's not a looker, I have to say.
Yeah.
He's not a cutie. I'm not a fan of that one. He's got, like, that early 2000s face. He's like a Korean Ryan Cabrera.
Oh my god, yeah!
Just give him, like, some highlights, and there you go.
Like an open-y shirt or whatever. I guess he was kind of already wearing that.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
Well, he's there. He's at her place. And Yuju is acting very weird. And, like, she wants to make Hansung jealous. But Hansung, I think, is always a little bit jealous of everything Yuju does. Like, boys she talks to, or when she says she loves her job more than love. And Hansung asks DK if they can speak alone. Yuju walks DK outside, and he tells her that Hansung likes her.
Oh, yeah.
And she still likes him. So there isn't really a problem. And he calls her out for using him to make Hansung jealous, even though he has feelings for her. And Yuju admits that she just doesn't like that he has feelings for another girl. Duh.
I mean...
But he's also telling you that he wants to, like, work things out with you.
Yeah. Like, he chose you.
So maybe try to work things out. And then see if you need to absolutely leave.
Yeah, and it's not like he slept with Unchan. And, I mean, I get it. Like, you can also have, like, emotional cheating. But it doesn't seem like they were emotionally cheating. Like, Unchan was never like, I love you, or anything like that. You know what I mean? It was more just like, I want to play with your dog and talk to you about boy problems.
And listen to music.
And listen to music and go to the park. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want Alex to do that with another girl.
Yeah.
But I also would be like, hey, maybe don't do that anymore, please. Or if you're going to do that with her, like, bring me along. Yeah,
like, you have that conversation. You don't just decide
to leave the country.
I'm gonna go to America with my ex, but now maybe not my ex.
Yeah.
Just like these bold, quick decisions without much thought.
Yeah.
So after they have their conversation, she goes back inside, and Hansung is doing the dishes. It's like Andrew. It's so funny because, like, sometimes I'm like, I don't know, it could be like after he's done with work and I'm just like dead on the sofa watching TV, fucking watching the Kardashians or something. And instead of him just like coming to eat and watch TV or something, I just hear him with the fucking broom, like, sweeping up litter. Or, like, before bed, sweeping up litter. Just, like, the random times when, like, you shouldn't. I'm like, it's dinner time. Worry about that later. He's like, I have to do it now. I have to sweep this now.
Yeah, I guess that's better than me and Alex, because we're, like, fucking slobs, but...
Yeah, I mean, Andrew's like, I can't stand it on my feet. And I'm like, I just ignore it.
Just wear socks.
I'm like, I just do that thing where I, like, rub my foot on my pants. And I, like, rub the litter off and then I walk away. And he's like, that's terrible. And I'm like, well, I do, like, one big clean and I take care of everything. But, like, I just don't do mini cleans.
That's how I am. I'm like, save the cleaning for the weekend.
Yep.
And then I'll do it all over next week.
Yep, exactly. Also, last time when we recorded, later on, he was like, were you telling Kaitlin about when I cut your hair? I was like, yes, I was. He was like, okay, I thought I heard that.
It's funny.
Alright, so Hansung is trying to feel better by doing dishes. That's what I'm assuming. He's like, I'm just going to be a good boy. I'm going to do dishes and clean up. He then admits that he is jealous of DK, and he asks what Yuju really wants and what her actual motive for moving to New York is. He tells her that he's over Unchan and he wants her to stay, but Yuju doesn't believe him and asks him to tell her that Unchan means nothing to him, but he can't.
I feel like that's kind of harsh. That's a harsh ask.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're being honest, he could also tell me that Hangul means nothing to you.
Or DK.
Or DK.
Yeah.
Like, you allow these boys to talk to you at all times. You allow my cousin to put his head on your lap in public.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could you not do that, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're both, like, in a fucked up situation, and they're both kind of being shitty. But I think at least he's admitting his mistakes and, like, what he's done and how he's feeling. Mm-hmm. Whereas she doesn't really seem to recognize when she's being, like, overly flirtatious with someone.
Yeah. Or, like, she doesn't want to admit that to him. Because later on, she'll admit that to Hangul.
Yeah.
But, like, it's like she doesn't want to be on the losing side or something. Mm-hmm. When, like, in a relationship, there isn't really, like, a loser or a winner.
Yeah.
Like, you're trying to win together. That is the relationship.
Exactly.
But they should just go to some couples counseling, because...
Oh, yeah.
They don't know how to talk to each other.
No, they do not.
But like, Hansung's the pain in his eyes when she's like, tell me she means nothing to you. And he can't. I'm like, God damn, like, you're torturing this man. Mm-hmm. He looked so conflicted.
It's rough.
Yeah. So, Yuju basically tells him that the whole time they were together, he never spent time with other women, and he was always by her side and would do whatever she wanted and would forgive her no matter what she did. And that sounds unhealthy. Yeah. It sounds like she was taking advantage of him.
Mm-hmm. And now she's all upset.
Uh-huh.
Because Lil Unchan...
Because he has one friend.
Being all cute and silly and loving his dog. Uh-huh. That Yuju, like, never even seems to recognize is in the fucking room. That's just me being bitter that she's not an animal person, it seems. But... Yeah. Because anytime I'm around a dog, I'm like, come here, baby.
Yeah, like, oh.
Exactly. But, I don't know. It's just like... One person comes into the picture and automatically she's an asshole about it.
Yeah.
Because she right away feels like she's not going to get her way suddenly.
Yeah. And again, like, I don't think Hansung and Unchan necessarily have an appropriate relationship. Like, they should definitely move more into the friend zone and less, like, the girlfriend zone. But they're working on it, right?
Totally.
Like, so... It's a work in progress.
And they've both been honest with, like, their feelings and what they want out of this relationship.
So Hansung tries to tell her again that nothing has changed, but Yuju insists that she no longer trusts him. Again, such an overreaction.
It's just laughable. Fucking shit.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this reminds me of... in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, spoilers for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, when, like, Paula's husband cheats on her. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense, because, like, you're married, and he had sex with another woman. Mm-hmm. Which I would assume is very hurtful.
Yeah.
But Paula says, like, yeah, nothing's ever going to be the same again. And it's like, yeah, I get that, because I feel like that would just always kind of live in the back of your mind. Mm-hmm. But I feel like a kiss that Unchan clearly did not enjoy.
And they also, like,
not... You can get over that. Because you... Again, like, yeah, what did you do with Hangul? What did you do with DK while you were still with Hansung? Like...
And also, fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh, like, Yuju and Hansung, like, they didn't even seem like they were officially together still. Mm-hmm. Like, the way they would talk to each other was just kind of like, oh, we're back together, but whatever, not really. And, oh, I'm bringing this girl to your gallery opening. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just this weird sort of, like, fucking with each other thing.
Yes.
You know, like, I'm with you, but here's this other girl to kind of try to make you jealous. Like, on purpose, it's obvious. Uh-huh. Otherwise, why would I bring her to your opening? Like, it's just... really weird. They had a weird relationship.
Yes.
And they weren't clear when they got back together of what the expectations were and what they wanted from this relationship.
Right. Totally. And
just bad.
Yeah. Again, like, I feel like if Yuju had spoken up earlier and was like, hey, I don't really appreciate you bringing another girl to, like, the opening of my art show.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be, like, a big moment for me. And then maybe he would have, like, you know...
understood her feelings.
Yeah, hit the brakes a bit. But she was, like, just trying to play it cool so much.
Yeah, her response was just like, oh, you have a girlfriend. Like, making jokes. Like, just tell him how you really feel.
Yeah, because then you can't do a complete 180 and be like, I'm leaving you for my ex, and I'm moving halfway across the world because I no longer trust you. Even though 2 weeks ago she was like, don't fall for your other girlfriend. Like, you can't do that.
No, you cannot. And if you do, you're going to be in a fucked up situation like right now, where everything's a mess.
Yes.
Crazy. All right, so Hansung asks if she wants to break up again, and he points out that she never gives him any chances, and she always just does what she wants. He questions if what he did was really that wrong, and tells her that if she breaks up with him now, that will be the last time. Sure, Jan.
Yeah, but
we'll
he basically
see.
just said what we said.
Yeah. in probably a nicer way, honestly.
Yeah, in a professionally written way.
Yes. Hangyo's mom visits his place and makes him dinner, and they talk about Lee Myung-jae and his birth mom, and he tells his mom that she may be the only person in the world that has faith in him.
She seems like a nice mom.
She does, yeah. And their food looked good.
Yeah, those noodles. He's not a disgusting eater.
No, he's not. Mr. Hong, on the other hand, coming up.
Yeah.
Always gross.
Mr. Hong is the worst.
Who raised him?
I don't know.
Jesus. Oh.
Mr. Hong makes an unexpected visit to Hangul's house. Prior to that, he was, like, hanging out with the butcher and Unchan's mom, but I honestly don't care about their story, so skip over that.
I keep forgetting they're a storyline in the show.
It's like, just give me more of the princes. I don't care about the mom, sorry. Anyway, what did I say? Oh, like, when the doorbell rang, I thought it was going to be Unchan, and then his mom was going to be there, and it was going to be like, what? But no, it was Mr. Hong. So, he tells Hangul a story of a woman he once loved a long time ago, and how she always lied to him about everything. But whenever he got angry, he would think, you're mad, but can you really live without her? And after he would ask that question, he would just always let it go because he loved her. Which is, like, not the exact strategy I have. Not that I'm, like, always getting mad at Alex, but it's like, is this worth a fight? Like, I don't like fighting, so it's like, I mean, Alex and I basically never fight. So, anyway, I don't know, just, like, it's not worth it.
Just go watch a drama.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really do anything. We're kind of just, like, always
especially
together.
Now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, Andrew and I are doing fine in this fucking pandemic. We just watch TV, or Andrew goes and plays his flight sim, and I watch Coffee Prince.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yep, it's like, we do music stuff, we eat, we watch TV, and then we go our separate ways.
Then you meet back up again.
Yep.
It's great. No problems.
Yes. So, Hangul asks if he should just let the fight go and take Unchan back, but doesn't really seem convinced. He's like, okay, sure, whatever. That was my sad boy voice.
That's good. Sad Hangul.
Unchan is still super heartbroken and cries as she talks to her little Lego dude and says she misses him. I'm like, Unchan, feel better. Our little baby.
She's so sad. The next day at work, Hangul and Senki pick a little fight with each other. Hangul points out how everyone seems to be on her side, and she tries to apologize and grab his arm to make him stay. He starts to interrogate her again and points out all of the moments she could have told him when she realized that he had feelings for her, which is true. And we've talked about that, like, just tell him.
Yeah.
Hangul tells Unchan she was being selfish by only worrying about how she would feel if he got mad at her. He asks if she had fun deceiving him and making him look like a fool, but she insists that it wasn't fun at all, and she liked him too much to say anything. She didn't want to ruin anything since he was going to be leaving for America soon anyway. He then scoffs and tells her that he was planning on asking her to go to America with him.
I was like when?
When though?
Because before their kiss, like 4 days ago, he was like a total asshole. Like, he was like, I'm leaving in a month anyway, so
like, did he think about it? Did he think about it when they finally kissed and he gave in and was immediately just like, well, this boy's the one?
In like the 9-hour turnaround time between their kiss and
I'm taking him to America.
Yeah. Okay.
Or did he just say that to make her feel like shit?
I'm guessing the latter. I mean, maybe he was like, oh, I really like him. Wouldn't it be great if whatever? But no, I don't think he had actual plans. Like, maybe the thought crossed his mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
He turns to leave again, but Unchan reminds him that he said he wouldn't like her as a girl, and that he said it was a good thing she was a boy. Then he shoves her against the fridge and kisses her, but in a very sort of aggressive way. And she pushes him off and he tells her that the kiss was better when she was a boy.
Yes.
Or a guy.
A guy.
At first, like, it spelled UGY on accident, and I thought it said when she was ugly. When she was ugly. I was like, what? Why did he say that to her?
No. I read that.
It took me a second.
Yeah. I hated him kissing her like that.
That was rough. That was angry. That
was, like, assaulty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not cute. Not a good look for Hangul. He then tells her there's nothing left between them. Since there was no trust, he was willing to abandon his life just to be with him/her, but she calculated everything so she wouldn't get hurt without caring for him. And then he storms out, leaving Unchan to cry on the floor.
I feel like he had some good points. But where he lost me was when he pushed her against a fridge and forcibly kissed her.
Yes. And also when he says things like he was ready to, like, what the fuck did I just read just now?
Take her to America?
That he was willing to abandon his life. Just to be with him/her. Like, again, did he think that, like, immediately when they kissed? And
I guess maybe he thought that on the drive, and he was like, I'm gonna do it.
This is my life now.
Yeah, I feel like that is kind of like gaslighty, because it's like, look, I was the perfect one here. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, look at how you fucked me over. Even though
he held her hand at the beach, and then when she woke up from a nap, he was a completely different person. Without explanation, and treated her like shit for who knows how long. Yeah.
Also, I don't know. Like, I think his strongest argument is you only thought about yourself. Like, you didn't tell me because you were afraid you were going to get fired and that I was going to be mad at you. And he went through kind of like an emotional identity crisis for a bit, which is rough. But, like, okay, he has that point. But also, yeah, he, like, really fucked with her mind for a bit. Like, he was very wishy-washy, and he was mean to her, and I don't know. I just, again, just be happy.
It's another weird relationship, but in a completely different way.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I was like, you have points and you should talk this out. And yes, Unchan should take responsibility for the fact that, like, she basically used him to get a job, which that's fair because capitalism and whatnot. But she should have told him sooner. Like, yeah, that is a fair criticism, but you can't derail that by, like, being an asshole, because you lose me. Anyway, episode 12. Unchan keeps showing up to work, and Hangul is still hurt. Unchan is very persistent. I would probably have quit before I told Hangul. I'd be like, I know this is gonna blow up, so peace out. Hopefully I can find another job. Or I would have been looking for jobs and then be like, I found another job. By the way, I'm a girl. Can we still date? So Unchan approaches him and he gives her 3 minutes to say what she wants. And I really liked this part, so I wrote a lot of it down. But maybe I'll try to, like, condense it as I read. Okay. So, Unchan states her case. Essentially, like, when she first met him, he had feelings for Yuju, and she's not like Yuju at all, so she thought that he wouldn't like her, which is understandable. Also, like, you don't assume every person of the opposite sex you meet is going to be, like, a romantic partner. So, anyway, then he said that he was done dating around and he needed to focus on getting married to a woman from a good family, which she is not that. So she points out that she couldn't really be his girlfriend, but if they were brothers, they could spend time together. And she started to like him too much, and she was scared to tell the truth. Fair. Okay, so Hangul questions why no one trusts him and why no one tells him the truth. Okay, so I took a bunch of classes in college because I got my degree in personal relationships and corporate communication. It's kind of useless, but, like, there was a point where we were talking about, like, unfair fighting techniques, and he's kind of, I forget what it's called, but he's basically using something against her that she has no control over. Like, you can't be mad at Unchan because your dad lied to you. Yeah. Like, he's transferring the blame onto her. Yeah. Not a good look. Anyway, he tells her that he loved her, but she didn't believe in him. And she tells him that she does trust him. She just doesn't trust herself. He tells her that he needs someone who trusts him and has faith that he can really be the person he wants to be. Unchan tells him that she hid the truth because she wasn't confident in herself, but the reason she's telling him all of this now is because she loves him so much and she wants to be with him as a woman. Hangul responds that he feels like he doesn't actually know who she is and that they shouldn't see each other anymore. And I'm like, I hate it when people say that in TV shows, like, I feel like I don't even know you. And it's like, you do know them, they just hurt your feelings.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the only thing Unchan did differently was wrap her chest. She did not change her dress style. She did not change her voice. She did not change her hair. She didn't do anything different. She's exactly the same person. Yeah. Her boobs are just the tiniest bit bigger. And I think at some point, Sunki is like, oh, I guess she didn't have much to work with anyway. Yes. When he had originally asked her, like, how do you flatten them? He's like, oh, I guess it wasn't a problem for her.
Alex thought that was super funny.
And it's just, like, a weird aside comment as he's, like, passing by or something. So funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, I don't feel like that comment was warranted by Hangul.
He's just all upset. So he goes downstairs and tells the guys that Unchan is quitting, and Mr. Hong throws a fit. And he tells Hangul that he's just mad that he loves Unchan more, but the fact is she's a woman and they like each other, so they should celebrate, not fight. Mr. Hong says he can't stand working there any longer with all the fuckery going on. Not a direct quote, you say. Yes. It should have been, though. Ha-Reum tries to convince Mr. Hong to keep working, but he tells them he'll only come back after Han-gyul leaves. Un-chan packs up her things as Min-Yep and Sun-ki try to comfort her in their awkward little boy way, and she leaves the cafe, and Han-gyul watches from the roof.
Okay, I loved Sun-ki's, I guess, line to her when she's packing her stuff. It's, I don't really know what to say, but I guess keep in touch. Like, that's something that I feel like I would say. Like, I don't know how to comfort you, but keep in touch. Like, you're going through a really tough time, but because Min-Yep is
soft, awkward pat on the back.
Because Min-Yep is like, just think of it as a vacation. Like, Min-Yep is so sweet to Un-chan.
He's like, Mr. Choi will feel better later, and he won't be mad anymore, and he'll hire you back. Just wait.
Which, he's right, but... Yeah. Un-chan oh, you already read that. Okay. Yuju continues to ignore Hansung's calls and makes arrangements to leave. Hansung then calls Han-gyul and tells him to listen to his side of the story. He explains his past with Un-chan and tells him that Un-chan really likes Han-gyul, and now they, Hansung and Un-chan, are just friends. He believes that Un-chan decided to come forward and own up to everything because she does believe in Han-gyul and wants to be with him. But also she didn't really have a choice anymore.
Yeah.
Which I guess is maybe, like, Han-gyul's point. Like, it's not that she chose to come forward, it's that she was exposed, but...
Yeah. But technically she did choose to come forward because she didn't know Ha-Reum knew.
Right.
But Han-gyul doesn't know that it's all fucking confusing.
Yes. No one knows
the way it came out to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way it came out to him, she did not tell him. Right. Ugh, what a mess. So the coffee princes are going crazy without Un-chan and Mr. Hong to make the coffee. Everything's like a fucking mess. Too many people. Sun-ki blames Ha-Reum for their current situation since he's the one who blabbed to Han-gyul before Un-chan could. Sun-ki calls Ha-Reum and Han-gyul selfish. I almost said shellfish.
Little crabs.
Han-gyul then visits Yuju's house and she apologizes for not telling him about Un-chan. She tells him nothing happened between Un-chan and Hansung, so he should forgive Un-chan. He questions why she's leaving if it's not because of Un-chan, and she says that she's having issues with her feelings for Hansung. Okay. Well.
Like, maybe tell Hansung that.
Yeah, maybe have a conversation, I don't know. With this person you've known for 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Han-gyul wonders how Hansung felt knowing that he liked Yuju. Probably not good, Han-gyul. He realizes that Hansung never worried about Yuju and stayed by her side the whole time because he trusted her. Yuju then points out that Han-gyul must not have a lot of faith in Un-chan if that's what he thinks about Hansung, like, turning his logic back on him.
And she's the same way. Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
Bunch of hypocrites. He tells Yuju not to go for Hansung's sake, as in, like, not to leave
not to
Korea.
Go to America.
Yeah. For Hansung's sake, and tells her that he'll hate her if she leaves and hurts Hansung again. Okay. Like,
nice.
I don't think she really cares what you think, but whatever.
Can you hear Egon?
No.
By the way? Okay. I don't know if the mic is catching him, but he's just nonstop crying. He has a lot to say about Coffee Prince. He's already watched the whole show. He knows all the spoilers.
Oh my gosh.
Un-chan and Han-gyul continue to wallow while Han-gyul thinks about Mr. Hong's question of whether he can live without her. Hansung offers to drive Yuju to the airport and he tries to convince her not to leave again, but they start to argue and she ends up getting out of the car and he shouts at her to not go.
Okay.
And it's just like on the side of the road.
There was a line in their fight. And I was like, oh, fuck. So she says, because basically they're talking about how, like, Unchan will, I guess, always be a part of their relationship. And she'll feel self-conscious about it or whatever. And she says, like, how you went to go read her texts after you slept with me. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Yeah, that's not great.
No.
But, you know.
But it's also, like, she still works with DK.
Yes.
He also still has to be in their lives, and I don't know. It's all very hypocritical.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating.
Yeah. 100%.
They should just say their goodbyes.
Just break up.
Just break up, please, because this relationship is fucked.
Uh-huh.
If they ended together at the end, I'm going to say if there was, like, a 10-year recap, not together anymore.
Like, search www.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to last. Yuju sees DK waiting for her at the airport, and he's got, like, a coffee and a muffin for her. And they just stare at each other from afar, and DK is just, like, mouthing to her.
Like, are you coming?
Like, I have your muffin. You gonna come and eat this? And then he just, like, kind of smiles and nods, bites into it, leaves, and throws the muffin away. It was such a strange little scene.
It was, because they're just, like, nodding to each other from
afar.
An airport.
Yep. And so DK is just like, well, guess I'm out of here alone. And you made a note of how you like DK more than Yuju at this point.
Yeah.
And how did she manage to have two super wealthy dudes fall in love with her, and she denies both of them? Very true.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like she also maybe comes from money. And money isn't everything. I know Jill and I sound like money obsessed.
But it's mostly just because we want fun jobs.
Yeah. And
like, this is a fun job.
Yes.
Just if we could get paid from it. Because, yeah.
But, yeah, because I know you said DK is Korean Ryan Cabrera. But he does seem kind of like a dick, but in kind of like a, oh, whatever. Like, I wouldn't want to date him, but he seems like cool enough. Like, oh, he's going to start a restaurant and shit. And he, like, you know, basically called Yuju out on her bullshit, because he was like, how about you don't use me to make your boyfriend jealous when you know I like you? Yeah. So, anyway.
Which is what all of these people should be saying. Not just like, I hope you don't fall for your other girlfriend. Changing the subject. Like, what?
Can we get DK to lead some couples counseling sessions? Please. For these people?
It seems like he's trying to, honestly.
Totally.
So Han-sung goes to the airport to get her back, but at this point, Yuju is already gone. So in his head, he's like, fuck, she's in New York. We're on her way.
Yeah, I feel like this scene of him at the airport was just shot of him, like, just short of him being like, no! Like, totally. They were just, like, spinning the camera around him, and he's just like, she's gone. Her flight already left. So, Unchan starts her money-making schemes again by peeling a fuck ton of chestnuts and sewing doll eyes. The room full of dolls honestly looked kind of comfortable. Like, she's just...
Yeah, it's like a bed of dolls.
Laying back on all those dolls. She decides to take a break and go to the convenience store because she's still, like, bummed. She's heartbroken. And on the way, she runs into Han-sung. They have their little convenience store date thing where she just eats a bunch and he listens to her. She tells him how she got fired and he apologizes. Han-sung explains that Hangul is only being like this because he loves her so much. Han-sung tells her that Hangul will eventually come around, but for her to not tell him about their kiss. And I was like, is this gonna come back later? Are they gonna get into a fight again? Because we're only on episode 12.
Yeah.
I'm like, I really hope this doesn't become a thing.
Him finding out that she was a girl happened a lot quicker than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, same.
If I'm being honest here.
Yeah, totally.
I also worried that Hangul was gonna, like, drive by at this point. Or just be, like, moseying down the street and see them together. And it was gonna cause an even bigger problem, but thankfully that did not happen.
Yeah, I'm just really nervous. Like, I don't want them to fight about this. I just want them to be over this, but we'll see. I just felt like it was very weird that he said very pointedly, do not tell him about our kiss. Anyway, so he says he's realized that when you tell someone something to ease your own conscience, it can end up hurting them. Like, yeah, sometimes you just have to live with yourself and don't burden the other
people.
Yeah.
Back at the cafe, the princes talk about their work situation, and they end up standing up for Unchan and trying to convince
Hangul
to either bring her back or hire a new barista. Sunki delivers the final blow and tells Hangul that Unchan is still young and this situation has been really hard for her too. He tells Hangul that she was probably afraid of things ending up like this, which is why she didn't tell him. Duh.
Yeah, that's what she's just telling him.
She's just some dumb kid who needed money badly.
Yeah. Very true. Hangul goes to visit Hansung, and the cousins make up and forgive each other. They talk
sweet.
I know. Such sweet boys. Those dang ol' Han cousins. They talk about Unchan and Yuju and encourage each other. Hansung believes that he has a special bond with Yuju and that it's not over between them, even though he clearly said it was over between them. Just a few last episode. Hansung can't reach Yuju, so he calls DK, but DK tells him that she never came to New York with him, which makes Hansung worried. Yeah, that would also make me worried. Because
Hangul drives by. I know exactly who abducted her. We've taken Korean version.
Yes.
Hangul drives by Unchan's house and drives away after staring at her window for a while. Meanwhile, Unchan waits outside of Hangul's building. She pushes her bike and accidentally leaves a trail of fucking chestnuts behind. And I'm like, girl, you don't hear these chestnuts falling behind you, rolling around on the road? There's so many falling out of this bag. How do you not hear them or feel them?
Exactly. It's it would be one thing if it was in grass or something.
Yeah.
But
this
they're
is
just
on a road.
Yeah, super loud. Also,
but she's also
hitting the bike and stuff, too.
She's also just so oblivious and just, talking to herself the whole time. Of course she doesn't fucking notice.
Yeah.
So Hangul gets home, and he sees the chestnuts, and then starts to follow the trail. And he's picking them up on the way. And then Unchan finally realizes that her bag is torn, so she's also picking up chestnuts. And then they meet in the middle.
Aww. So sweet. They end up sitting on a park bench together, and Hangul tells her to come back to work. He tells her he's still upset, but he's realized that he can't live without her. Unchan starts to tear up again. She's a crier. And he starts to get after her for crying so much and tells her that she's not allowed to cry in front of other men from now on. Unchan apologizes for not being considerate of his feelings, and Hangul apologizes for being an asshole and kissing her all aggressively at the cafe and telling her it meant nothing. He says he didn't mean it and only said that to hurt her feelings. Again, I'm like, okay, at least we're opening up and apologizing.
At least he acknowledges.
Yes. Definitely. So they forgive each other, and Hangul rests his head on her shoulder and tells her that he's happy she's a girl. And she leans over and kisses him, and Alice went, "Doll."
Yeah, this was the one scene Andrew was standing at the sofa watching. And then when he says, that he's happy she's a girl, there's like a moment of silence in the show, and then I looked at Andrew and I was like, oh yeah, he knows she's a girl now. And he's like, oh, that's why she said that. And then I believe when she kissed him, he was just like, oh. Okay. All right then. So the next day, Unchan and Mr. Hong are back at the cafe, and Harim is actually happy to see her.
Yeah.
And he's being nice again. My God. So all the gang is back together again. They're all acting really silly and having a great time. And Unchan confirms that her and Hangul are basically together, and she's getting all red and nervous, and it's cute. And then Hangul and Unchan go to deliver coffee beans, and they take a walk through a park. They're very cute, and they talk about when they first met, and Unchan then clarifies that she first met him when she delivered food when he was basically naked and he was rubbing his little patas. And then he, like, flashed back to, like, oh my God, that was you?
Ugh. And gets all embarrassed. Because she's like, you left a big impression.
Oh
okay.
My God. Good grief.
Yeah. Hansung calls Hangul and tells him how Yuju never went to New York, but he can't find her. Hansung realizes that he actually doesn't know that much about her. This is crazy. He doesn't know where her mom lives or who her friends are. What? How do you not have at least one friend?
Yeah,
saved? Like,
not have any mutual friends. Like, what?
And they've been together for 10 years?
Again, this relationship should not be a relationship.
No.
They need to give it up.
That was insane to me.
Very fucking weird.
Yeah.
Maybe at this point, like, contact her South Korean gallery. The woman who was, like, helping her pack up, and maybe that lady could get in contact with her, because that's, like, the only place I can think of. Yeah. I know just about as much about Yuju as Hansung does, apparently.
I guess.
I don't know who her friends are either.
I'm like, what did you talk about? Did you guys
so
just,
weird.
Like, only do it
and do weird, like, feet foreplay and toothbrush kisses? Fucking weirdos. So bizarre.
Yeah. That was, like, the most, unbelievable part of the show so far. Not that Unchan successfully managed to pretend to be a boy for, like, 4 months, but that Hansung was in a relationship with a woman for 10 years, and he doesn't know where her mom lives or who her friends are. Yeah. Okay.
Weird.
So the Coffee Princes have a couple of funny scenes when they start to get embarrassed of the shit they did in front of Unchan. And Sungky's, I think he's like, I wonder which package she liked more. Or, like, guys are so dumb. And Harim is like, what? And the scene of Harim being like, I'm peeing so much. I was like, do you guys actually do that? That seems weird.
Very weird. I have no clue. I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. Boys are dumb.
Unchan and Hangul talk on the phone. They talk about Hansung, and Unchan pretends not to know that Hansung liked her. She admits that she initially liked him, but then she fell for Hangul. Hangul pretends to be annoyed with her, so she'll tell him now how much she likes him. But then he gets flustered when she tells him that she loves him, and he starts to get after her, but then tells her that he loves her more and hangs up on her. And they start jumping around full of joy, and it's the end of the episode.
And then Alex said, now Hangul has to start planning for the zombie apocalypse because of Train to Busan.
Wonderful. But not just yet, Alex. We still have a few more episodes before that happens.
Alex said, what if Unchan is, like, his ex-wife in Train to Busan?
Oh my God.
They have a daughter together. And I was like, that's an interesting theory. Okay.
All of the dramas we watch are connected in movies.
Yep. All right.
Connected in some way.
Well, I feel like the ending was very satisfying.
Yes, agreed.
very cute.
I think we definitely have at least one more fight between the two of them.
Yes. I don't know. Okay. We'll do short predictions and then we'll kick it to Okay Mama. And then maybe Okay Mama will lead us into more predictions.
Okay.
But I feel like their fight is either going to be like and or one, his parents or his family like not really approving of her because she's like a poor person. I mean, they don't seem to be like jerks like that, but you know, they are like a rich family.
They have expectations.
Yeah. Two, it would be like Hangyo finds out that Hansung kissed Unchan and she lied to him about that because he doesn't like being lied to.
I think it's going to be that one because he's very jealous.
Yeah.
And he's already freaked out about Hansung and Unchan. Yeah, that's going to be the one for me.
I just don't want that to happen because I'm like over it. I'm over them being jealous of each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Okay Mama. Episode 11. She said, starts with a sweet phone call. I love scenes where the guy is all smiles and happy dances during and after phone calls with their crush. I wonder if men actually do this. I'm guessing not. But I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. My mom said the mother-daughter snuggle was sweet. Clearly, I am her daughter. She says, I generally despise the mother. I don't understand how the mom doesn't work and lets her daughter sacrifice her life while she does nothing to bring home income and support her children. Fair.
That's true. Wasn't her mom just doing, like, the peeling of chestnuts?
Yeah, but not even doing that
not
much.
Really.
Yeah. Because I think Unse, when she sees the big bowl of chestnuts that Unchan peeled, she's like, you're gonna make us rich. And then I was thinking, like, I wonder how much you get paid to peel chestnuts.
Yeah, seriously. I feel like you should get more money from sewing the fucking eyes on those dolls.
Yeah. I mean, I've never peeled a chestnut, but...
Me either.
I don't know how much skill it takes. My mom says, I found her more supportive than expected in the scene, the mom. And she says, I miss you, Ladybug, which is her nickname for me. Okay. She says, I was happy to see Hansung finally stand up to Yuju. She's a selfish bitch. She can only see what she wants. She demands absolute loyalty, but has never given it herself.
Agreed.
My mom says, the head pat. Hangil pats Unchan when he is talking about getting a picture of his birth mother for the first time. I always find that head pat and hair petting condescending, but in Korea, many people find that a really endearing form of affection. I kind of pet Alex's head a lot. I'm like, oh, maybe I picked that up from Korean dramas subconsciously.
Probably.
I don't know, but I also like it when Alex like pats me on the head.
I don't know that Andrew and I do that, but I definitely pat Edie on the head, who is a dog.
Yeah. So maybe it's a little condescending. Or maybe, you treat Edie better than a person sometimes. So
yeah, that's definitely true. Absolutely.
Okay, my mom says, that damn loudmouth Harim. I kind of read that how my mom would say it, I think. That damn loudmouth. As soon as he saw that Hangil was confused, he should have shut up or sent him back to talk to Unchan. Instead, he kept on and on. I was also disappointed with Hangil's reaction. I feel like his first question should have been why, and then listened for her answer. Through the montages, it was clear the number of times she felt him out on this issue, and his answers all led her to believe that keeping up the facade was the right thing to do.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think, again, maybe, like you said, had she not hesitated, or if she was able to get him out of there and talk to him alone, like before going to the shop or whatever, I think things would have been different. But being put in that situation where you're with everyone that you know, people you work with, and it's just like embarrassing because they all thought, or you thought you liked this guy who wasn't a guy, and everyone knew you liked this guy, but he's not really a guy, he's a girl.
Yeah.
And it's just like awkward and weird, and I don't know.
Yeah. not great. And we already know that, like, Hangil kind of has a temper because he was a dick to Unchan before.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of feelings.
Yes, he does.
And a lot of, like, personal demons.
Yes, definitely. My mom says, when she confronted him at his house and he had the slow roll tears that tore me up, I actually felt physical pain in my chest. My mom has this note, which I think is very interesting. Watermelon. To an American audience, that might not seem like anything special, but watermelon in Korea is quite expensive. A small watermelon routinely runs like $20 US.
Wow.
So, for a financially struggling family, to buy watermelon is a real treat. It is the mom trying to be supportive of her daughter, because the mom puts a plate of watermelon in front of Unchan, and I think she slaps Unse's hand when she tries to eat some. So,
watermelon is one of my favorites. It's so tasty. Mm-hmm. I'm glad it's not $20 here.
Definitely. You can get a big-ass watermelon
for just a couple bucks.
Okay, I also have a note on this later in the fashion zone, but my mom says, Hangul shirt said, get laid. Koreans are constantly wearing clothing with English that either doesn't make sense or is vulgar. I once had a student wear socks that said, fuck to school. Another...
Can your mom get me those socks, please? I'll wear them to work.
Okay, another wore a Flintstones hoodie that said, I can make your bed rock.
Oh my god. So stupid.
These are elementary or middle school students.
Wow. Fuck to school.
Yep. I can make your bed rock. That's funny. That's a funny
Yeah,
shirt.
I also noticed the get laid pill shirt. And I tried to get, like, an Insta story of it to send to you. But every time I zoomed in, it would cut to fucking Mr. Hong's face. I was like, that's not what I want to zoom into. And I just gave up.
Yeah. I was trying to read what the other pills said, but I couldn't make them out. Episode 12. Mom says, Unchan is so bold. She keeps going to work even though she's been told to quit. She also persists in talking with Hangul. Her speeches are so moving. I don't think I have that courage. Me neither. When Hangul said he needs someone to trust him and believe in him, it choked me up. I think that is the heart of a deep and truly loving relationship. That one person can show absolutely everything to the other and trust that person will continue to love and support them. On We Got Married, which is... I don't know if I've told you about this show. It's where, like, two celebrities pretend they got married. Okay, it's kind of weird. It's a weird concept, but it's kind of fun to watch. So, essentially, two celebrities get quote-unquote married. Like, they have a wedding and everything. And you basically just watch them live together as a married couple. So, on that show, Yuk Sung-jae told Kwak Shi-yang that he was able to be goofy with Joy because he trusts that she feels about him the same way he feels about her. I thought that was so profound, and it seems to be the same thing that Hangul was telling Unchan that he needs. Mom says, I do not understand why Hangul was so pissed at everyone except Yuju when she knew that Unchan was a girl too. His soft spot for her defies understanding. True. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, like, I guess maybe he didn't want to yell at her because she's a girl, but
he knows Unchan's a girl, and he's been yelling at her.
Yeah, I don't know.
After finding out she's a girl.
Okay, in this episode, I adore the loyalty that all of the princes showed to Unchan. They were straight up on her side and never let Hangul rest, lol. My mom says, I LOL'd when the princes were sending a text from Unchan's phone to Hangul. One of them said to add 2 hearts, but another one responded, no, that's too expensive. Alex and I actually talked about this. She said, remember when texting A cost money and B, you were charged by the number of texts and the number of characters? I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Like, I think that's why all of the shortened texting words came up, because you needed to save money on characters. It's funny. Okay, and my mom said just some weird Korean normalcies and things that she's noticed. When Harim rubbing / massaging Mr. Choi's legs. Same-sex rubbing and massaging / touching is so normal here, but the homophobia is so strong. 2, doing everything on the floor, cooking, working, sleeping. There's clearly furniture. Why are you on the floor? 3, not in front of another man or woman, like, in quotations. Which is what Hangyo said to Unchan. Like, he doesn't want her to cry in front of another man. My mom says, I feel in America we prefer a sense of mystery. We don't necessarily want to see all sides of our friends and partners. Some things are expected to be done in private. But Koreans really want to see everything from their significant other. They want to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you share your troubles with a friend instead of your boyfriend, he feels betrayed or like you don't have faith in him. He wants you to call him when you're sick or sad or angry. So, that's interesting. Because, yeah, I definitely feel like in America, like, you have things you talk about with your friends, and you have stuff that you talk about with your partner, and... I mean, I don't really do that, but I feel like that is like a norm, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
And my mom said, K-drama noticing whenever there's an emotional event in a car, they always speed up and do a dramatic left lane change. It cracks me up every time. See if you don't notice it from now on. My mom says, love you and miss you.
I've never thought about that.
I have noticed that they always like speed up. But I haven't noticed that it's always, like, changing to the left lane. But I feel like that is probably totally accurate.
Well, now we're only going to see that.
Uh-huh. So, yeah. My mom is also a Yuju hater.
I mean, she's not a very likable character, if I'm being honest.
No, she's not. Again, kind of a bummer, but just don't be so terrible.
Yeah, don't be such a butthole.
Uh-huh. Okay. Do you have any predictions?
Just that eventually there will be another fight.
Mm-hmm.
And Unchan's gonna end up crying a lot again.
Oh. Yeah, well, I'm wondering if Sung-ki will finally, like, talk to his love. I feel like they need to give Harim a story. I don't know.
Yeah. But also at this point, I'm like, do I want another random story to come in here? Like, I don't even really want Sun-Ki's story. I just want Sun-Ki to be cool and mysterious.
Yeah.
And keep saying little things, you know?
Yeah, you just want more, like, cafe antics or them, having outings together, not
like, for single season shows like this, like, dramas are... I don't know if I like 1,000 little stories like the mom and her dudes. Like, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, I am definitely not interested in the mom storyline. I'm, like, barely even interested in Hongil's birth father storyline.
Yeah, and then you also kind of have Unse and Minyap.
Yeah, and the grandma being sick. I'm like, okay, fine with the grandma being sick, because that is the catalyst for essentially the whole show.
Yeah, totally.
But we don't need adoptive parents.
No, not really.
You can just have a dad who you resent because he doesn't support your dream.
Legos.
Yeah. That's enough.
Yep.
But yeah. I'm loving it. I can't wait to watch more. Fashion? Do we have any fashion moments?
Again, not really paying attention, other than the fact that I am tired of Unchan's little vest things. Yeah. Her, like, sweater vests that she keeps wearing. Mm-hmm. I don't love them.
I don't either. And Alex noted that as soon as she became, like, girl Unchan, like, her hair kind of, like, flipped out. Like, instead of her, like, trying to make it look more like a boy bowl cut. Yeah. I was like, that's a very good observation. I did not expect him to notice Alex. That. Yeah. I said Unchan's girl outfit, quote, girl outfit, is definitely something 2007 Kaitlin would have worn, but I had super long hair in 2007.
Her, like, white top when she goes to tell him?
Yeah, like her white top and jeans and, like, Converse. Yeah. In 2007, I think I had hair almost to my elbows.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's long.
I know. I was growing it out for Locks of Love, like where you donate your hair. But I felt weird telling you, because Alex is like, you always used to brag about how you donated your hair. And I was like, I don't think I said it that many times, but now I'm like very...
That's funny.
Self-conscious. And I told him also I was proud because it took me like a super long time to grow out my hair.
I don't think I've ever had hair that long.
Yeah. This is the longest I think I've had my hair since then. And I think it's only because we're in a pandemic and I haven't had anyone touch my hair in months.
Other than Alex?
Other than Alex and myself. And I was like, I'm going to follow YouTube tutorials. Okay, yeah, I said, we see yet another sleeveless vest hoodie thing. And I said, I swear she has one of these for every day of the week.
She's like a cartoon character.
Uh-huh. That's her uniform.
Yeah. They're not cute. It's just like 2000s fashion, and I'm just like, ugh. I don't need to pay attention to that.
Yeah. I think it's so funny because I feel like when you're in the moment, everything feels so timeless. Like, there are certain things that you're like, okay, this is, like, definitely not
always going to be good.
Yeah. And, or you know in a moment where you're like, that's not going to age well. Like, I feel like bike shorts right now, like how everyone's wearing bike shorts, I feel like those are not going to age well. But I don't know. It's just like, man, those sweater vest things.
They're not cute.
No.
They're not cute for a boy or a girl.
Nope. Alright, do we have an I love you / fuck you moment?
I love you moment. I'm going to say, I had it in my head and I forgot it. Oh, when the boys text Hangul with her phone.
Oh, that's a good moment, yeah.
And she gets like all like cutesy and nervous and excited about it when they're all like talking and being goofy. And then they're watching him, and at first they're like, why is he so serious? Did she send him 2 hearts? That's too many. And then they see him smile and they get all excited and happy and just shouting.
Yeah, I really liked that moment too. I also liked the mom cuddles, and I also really liked seeing them talk on the phone, like, after they had just made out and agreed to be with each other.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird that Hangul was so taken aback that she said that she loved him, because she told him she loved him before.
Yeah.
So, anyway. But he was very happy, so I feel happy for him. Fuck you. I did not like it when he pushed her against the fridge. I'll say that again. Don't push and pull people.
Yeah.
PSA. Don't push and pull people.
Anyone. Don't do that to anyone.
No. Use your words. But not to hurt people.
No.
I'm getting sleepy. Okay.
Same.
I guess that's it.
I think so.
Very excited.
Housekeeping.
Yes.
So next we have episodes 13 and 14.
Yes. And then after that it'll be 3.
Yeah.
15, 16, 17. Oh my god. We only have 2 more weeks left.
We're gonna finish. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Very exciting.
Yes. And then we're gonna start Goblin.
Yeah.
Okay, there are a ton of GIFs for Goblin, so we don't have to worry about that.
Okay, cool. I just need to worry about not seeing spoilers then.
Yeah, I will. I guess
you've mentioned Goblin like 10 million times. But I'm going to tell you, like, I've already gotten it mixed up with all of the other dramas you told me about. So the spoilers that you've told me about Goblin, they're just like lost in my head. I'm sure once I watch, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember Kaitlin kind of mentioning this. Yeah, I feel like I didn't really give away the plot. It was just more the, like, little things here and there.
Yeah, the rules of the world. But, yeah, it's funny because when I search for Coffee Prince GIFs, a lot of Guardian or Goblin GIFs come up because, like, Gong Yu is the main actor in both of those. And I'm like, okay, well.
That's funny. When I search for GIFs, all I see is Prince. like Prince, which is fine by me because he's like stunning. But I'm looking for coffee Prince,
Prince with
not
a cup
just
of coffee.
Lord and Savior Prince. Come on now.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So very excited to finish up the series. Let us know what you guys think. What will the next fight be? I wonder.
Ooh. Hopefully nothing.
Yeah. Hopefully they just live happily ever after and we just get to see them be happy together for 5 more episodes.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah. Alright. So, yes, watch episodes 13 and 14 and we will talk to you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.